Most gifted people I ever seen in my life. You're a great athlete. What you could do, you can't teach people in the gym. You had that something extra that made you come on in the 12th round and knock Corte down twice.
Yeah, I mean, but okay,
you know what I'm saying?
But then
you had
I think about that.
You could suck up. The Yankees couldn't do it last night. You could do it.
Right. But I think about that and I say to myself, okay, that was me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, next time I step in the ring, I'll be 33. I mean, do I still have my reflexes? Yes. You know what I do? When I fought Hopkins, I proved it to myself that, you know what? I was at 160, and I felt good. I actually felt really good.
Yeah.
In a weight class I didn't belong. But then I asked myself, okay, if I can't do that when I was 25 years old and I fought Chavez, I felt I was floating in the ring. Seriously, I felt I was floating in the ring.
Yeah.
And I felt that Chavez was telling me, okay, I'm going to throw right hand, move from it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how good
the professor
I felt like the Matrix.
Every time Chavez would cock his right hand, he'd go like this, and he'd shove it with the open glove. I saw that in the first fight. I saw it from the... Yeah. I said, that's what the professor taught you.
The professor.
Because, see, I used to hang around with Victor Valley. You remember, you know the name Victor Valley? He used to train Jerry Coon.
Talk.com here with the golden boy, Oscar De La Hoya. Big fight coming up on December 3rd. No respect. Taylor Hopkins, too. Can you give us some thoughts on this fight?
No respect. No, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a continuation of what happened the first fight, where in the last rounds Hopkins really turned it up and demonstrated that he is the undisputed champion of the world. I mean, Hopkins proved a lot at this stage of his career. He proved that, hey, he's still fresh, he's still strong. He still has, obviously, what it takes to be a champion.
Do you believe he gave Jermaine Taylor too much confidence by fighting the first 7-8 rounds of that fight at such a measured pace that it appeared that Taylor did more than he did?
Well, I was explaining to somebody that, for instance, the first few rounds, or let's say you chop the fight in there he is. You chop the fight in 3 pieces, right? Okay, those 3 pieces. Now, did Taylor win those 2 pieces of the pie, and then Hopkins won the 3rd piece of the pie? I mean, because the first piece of the pie, where does it go?
Meaning the first 4 rounds.
Right. Where does I mean, it was a very tactical fight, a chess game. So now, do you think, okay, Hopkins is the champion, you give it to him? Or Taylor's up and coming young gun here, do you give it to him? So it was kind of like a toss-up. But what really surprised me was those last few rounds that were very decisive, in the outcome.
Taylor told me he feels he's going to knock Bernard out this fight. Obviously, you disagree with him. Can you tell us why and tell us what your prediction is?
That's why it's going to be such a tremendous fight. I mean, Taylor knows he has to, just like a thoroughbred, right from the get-go, right from the gate, come out strong. Hopkins, he knows he has to come out strong. He knows he has to come out and fight hard. So it's going to be a clash of the titans.
In the past, critics, sometimes even Greg Leone, has pointed out how in the first half of the fight, you start off real quick, and then in the second half of the fight, you slow down. Bernard Hopkins seemed to do the reverse in the last fight. He started off slow and then turned it up. I mean, Do you feel he has to fight a more complete 12 rounds to leave no doubt about this fight?
He's going to fight a complete 12 rounds, which he always does, because when he fights any fight, including with me, I mean, he knows what he's doing up in that ring. He's playing that chess game. He's tiring your mind. He's getting in your head and setting you up for those final rounds where he'll just maybe knock you out.
That's just the way he fights. He likes to take you apart.
That's the way he fights. He doesn't fight one half. No, he fights the whole fight.
But at the same time, we're calling this promotion No Respect for a reason. Do you believe that both fighters showed each other a little bit too much respect in the first fight?
You can make an argument, but I just think that you have such great fighters in that ring that when you have 2 great fighters in the ring, you're going to play a chess game once in a while. That's what happened. I think with this fight here now, I mean, Hopkins knows he can land those big bombs. Taylor knows he has the energy to last 12 rounds. So it's gonna be a war.
Now let's talk about you for 1 second. May 6th. Obviously, we have no clue who the opponent's going to be yet. I mean, Shane Mosley, Vargas. What's going on? Give us the scoop, Oscar. We on camera. You got to give us something juicy. We got to have a remember where you heard it first here. What's going on?
Yeah, it's
Is Mosley fighting Vargas?
We're hoping. I think that's I think that's the right fight for Vargas because he's not going to fight me. So let's say Vargas fights Mosley, which Mosley beat me twice. So okay, Vargas can get his redemption right there through Mosley, and Mosley. I think this is the perfect fight for both of them. I mean, it'll be a perfect LA fight or Vegas fight. It'll be a tremendous fight, and now you talk about Mayorga, who we're talking with now. We have to talk to Don King and see what happens there. But it's no secret. It's no secret that I do want to fight in May, and I'm fighting in September, billed as my final fight, and it'll be over.
I mean, do you think it's going to be difficult? I mean, you're coming into 2006 saying 2 and done. Do you think it's going to be difficult by the time September 2006 comes to actually stick to that?
No, it won't be difficult at all. It will not be difficult at all, because I know I don't have nothing to prove. I just don't. I feel it in my heart. I have nothing to prove, but I want these last 2 fights. My last fight with Hopkins. It was a fight where I was in, got stopped with a body shot, no damage done. Okay.
But it upsets you that you got stopped by that body shot, as you were telling me.
As a competitor, as the pride, you want to go out in the sport as a winner, and it's a must for me. I have to do it.
I mean, Ricardo Mayorga, that seems to be the front runner for May 6th. That's a Don King fighter. Another Don King fighter is obviously the retired Felix Trinidad. 2-part question. How do you feel about doing business with Don King, and are you hopeful that if you defeat Mayorga that it could lead to a Trinidad rematch?
Oh, I love Don King. I mean, he's a great guy. He actually is. I mean, the way he does business and that's his. I don't get involved. That's what he does.
Oh man, just let's work together now. We gonna work together now, Oscar.
As a person, I had dinner with him. We talked. We laughed. We had a drink together, and we had a good time. So he has Mayorga, he has Trinidad. We want to do those fights. Hey, let's sit down now.
There ain't no better way to end a career than Trinidad in September 06, right?
That'll be like the icing on the cake.
Any closing thoughts for the boxing talkers?
Boxing Talk. If you're gonna listen to the scoop, just jot down www.boxingtalk.com.
You heard?